Hey guys, it's Caleb, and this is what I taught at FCA today. So, we're going over the book of Mark. We're going over chapter 4. And yeah, let's just get started. So, we start off with everybody reading through 1 through 9, and then everybody focus on a different verse. But I can read 1 through 9 with you guys right now. Again, Jesus began to teach by the lake. The crowd that gathered around him was so large that he got into a boat and sat in it out on the lake, while all the people were along the shore at the water's edge. He taught them many things by parables, and in his teachings he said, "Listen, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants so they did not bear grain. Still other seed fell on good soil. It came up, grew, and produced a crop, some multiplying 30, some 60, some 100 times. Then Jesus said, 'Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear.'" All right. So basically, I had them focus on a different verse for each one. So group 1 focused on group 4, which was, "As he scattered the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up." This is like, sometimes you'll try to spread the message, and people it just won't click. Like, not at all. Doesn't even impact them. It's just not happening, right? Then I had a group focused on 5. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. This is, okay, it clicked, it hit. It seems great, but there's no root to it. They're just doing this for somebody else, or they don't have much faith. They don't really care as much as they try to lead on, and it dies out. Then there was a group for verse 6. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root, which is like I just said. And then group 7, other seed fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked the plants so they did not bear grain. This is where I'm thinking about, they do have that faith. It is growing. It is great. But because of outside distractions, because of what other people say to them, their faith dies down. They don't want to be that Christian person. They don't want to be that believer. Either they stop believing because of what other people say, or they fall into temptation, what the world has to offer, and they don't think that they're worthy enough and start leaving God. Next up, we read 10 through 12 together, which was, "When he was alone, the 12 and the others around him asked about the parables. He told them, 'The secret of the kingdom of God has been given to you, but those on the outside, everything said in parables.'" Jesus is basically saying, I explain things simply, but only the people who truly want God will understand. The rest will hear them, but not change. The rest will hear these parables and will go over their head. That's why, sometimes it's a little difficult, but we reread them and we're searching for God. Next up, we have 13 through 20. Jesus said to them, "Don't you understand this parable? How then will you understand any parable? The farmer sows the word. Some people are like seed along the path where the word is sown. As soon as they hear it, Satan comes and takes away the word and it was sown to them. Others, like seed sown on rocky places, hear the word at once and receive it with joy. But since they have no roots, they only last a short time. When a trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. Still others, like seed sown among thorns, hear the word, but the worries of this life, the deceitfulness of wealth, the desires of other things come in and choke the word, making it unfruitful. Others, like seed sown on good soil, hear the word, accept it, and produce a crop, some 30, some 60, some 100 times what was sown." So that was just kind of a recap of what we were doing. And then we started doing like a little bit more of group reading. And shout out Elliot. She was doing more than half of this presentation with me. She's a student and she helped lead today. So I'm going to read through 4:21 and 25 through 25. He said to them, "Do you bring in a lamp to put it under a bowl or a bed? Instead, don't you put it on its stand? For whatever is hidden is meant to be disclosed, and whatever is concealed is meant to be brought out into the open. For anyone has ears to hear, let them hear. Consider carefully what you hear," he continued. "With the measure with the measure you use it will be measured by you, and even more. Whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. So that's pretty much saying, like, the lamp is like your faith. You're not supposed to be hiding it. You're not supposed to be just disclosing it. And, like, what's its intent? What is the intent of your faith? For the one who has more will be given, because, they're giving out their faith to others and they have a lot of faith. Next up, we read all together the parable of the growing seed. So that's 20. He also said, "This is what the kingdom of God is like. A man scatters seed on the ground night and day. Whether he sleeps or gets up, the seed sprouts and grows, though he does not know how. All by itself the soil produces grain. First the stalk, then the head, then the full kernel in the head. As soon as the grain is ripe, he puts the sickle to it, because the harvest has come." This is pretty much saying we need to spread the word and not micromanage it. Sometimes we spread that word and we don't understand what other people are going through. When they start their spiritual journey, it's not going to look the same as our journey. Maybe they don't have that same canon event that made them realize, hey, we don't have much time and we need to find this higher power. Maybe they didn't have that event where it's like, God is real. Maybe they're just going at their own pace. We can't micromanage and tell them how they should be feeling. We just need to plant the seed, and sometimes we aren't going to know what's going to happen next. Next up, 30 through 34. Again, he said, "What shall we say to the kingdom of God is like, or what parable shall we use to describe it? It is like a mustard seed, which is the smallest of all seeds on earth. Yet, when planted, it grows and becomes the largest of all garden plants, with such big branches that the birds can perch in its shade." With many similar parables, Jesus spoke the word to them as much as they could understand, but did not say anything to them without using a parable. But when he was alone with his own disciples, he explained everything. So sometimes your faith is like a mustard seed. Sometimes we see people and they're still doing those earthly things, but they are growing in faith. And you don't know what they're going to do next. But it can grow into something amazing with God's help. It can grow to be just humongous as long as you're trying to walk with God. And you have to realize, everybody's journey is a little different. Everybody's ceiling's a little different. And you just have to let people go at their own pace. Lastly, we had 35 through 41. That day when evening came, he said to the disciples, "Let's go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along. Just as he was in the boat, there were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat. It was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said, "Waves, quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asking each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and waves obey him." So this is a lot different than the rest of the story, but it's definitely important for us to realize, Jesus is real, and for these people, they were believing, but as he said, do you still have little faith? He was still performing these miracles, and people were like, okay, this is too good to be true. This is kind of crazy. So we still need to grow our faith. And with the mustard seed, a lot of these disciples, they started with very little faith, but they grew to be very big believers and Jesus' right-hand men. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you everybody that came to FCA. God bless. Have a great day.